What's going on, guys? Today we're going to continue work on my new bedroom. Alright guys, so last time we got all of the drywall hung and finished. Since then I did some sanding and it actually came out really well. Definitely better than I thought it was going to. I didn't have to sand too much because I did put it on pretty thin. I am especially pleased with this area where I did this patch because I cut out the drywall for my electrical and I patched that up. Didn't think it was going to come out that nice, but did a little extra sanding and it's really smooth. So now we are pretty much ready for paint. The only thing I want to do first is work on this little area under the stairs. So like I said, I'm not doing drywall here. I had some other things in mind. So first off, I am going to be covering it with plywood. That's why I have this plywood here. This is just 1/2 inch. It really doesn't need anything structural there. I just need something to cover it. So I'm going to be doing plywood first. And then I will be painting it with the rest of the structure here. And then I've got some ideas to dress it up a little differently. I'm thinking about some vertical furring strips that are spaced every foot or so on here, just to give it a different look, and I'll probably paint those to match as well. I think I'm gonna do the same finish molding on the bottom so it will flow with this wall as well. And that will be the stained wood, just like you see in other parts of my house, like this. So I want to get that covered first since I'll be painting it with the rest of the walls. And so I will be doing a primer on everything first. I'm not going to worry too much about this ceiling here because I think I'm going to be making some more changes to this room overall. So I'm going to wait to repaint the ceiling until then. But then inside the bedroom I will repaint the ceiling so that it is all finished in here. Probably going to keep it white, and then the walls in here and also these exterior walls, I'm thinking of doing like a medium gray, not as dark gray as this wall. I think it'd be a little too dark. So I think a medium gray so it still does contrast the metal over here. I don't want to go too light that it really matches the metal. I think a little contrast will look better. But first off, we're going to work on closing in this section. All right guys, so here it is. I've got everything painted up. Really happy with how it's looking. I did first cover the understairs section with the 1/2-inch plywood, and then I primed and painted it with everything else to match. And even with the extra weight, the door still works perfect. So it pops out and then you can grab it and open it like that. And I attached all of this plywood with finish nails. I didn't want to use screws or framing nails because they would be large and noticeable. So I'm liking how that looks because especially on this plywood, you really can't even notice those little nails. And that was my first time using that finish nailer. I got a Metabo, the same brand as my framing nailer, and it worked out perfectly. And I did just reattach my railing. I had it disconnected and on the right side of the stairs so that I could do the drywall up the stairs. I was thinking about leaving it off, but I kind of like the way it looks, and the wood contrasts this gray really well. So I'm gonna leave it on for now. And then up the stairs was one of the more challenging places to do the drywall. My issue was on this side, the wall was out towards me, and then on the far side, it was back in. So I had to do a lot of filling with mud. You can see it's not perfect, it comes up right here. But overall, I'm really pleased with how this came out considering what I was working with. And then inside the bedroom, I got everything painted up as well. Painted this wall, it was white, and then all of the new walls are now the same gray that are outside. I did repaint the ceiling. It was white, but it was a little bit discolored. I wanted to just get a fresh coat on there. So what I did was I got a paint and primer that was pure white. So I used that for the ceiling, and then I primed the walls with that. So once that was dry, I just taped off the ceiling to then do the gray. I was able to get a pretty clean edge with just the tape. I didn't try to cut it in by hand. I always end up messing that up. So I just take the time to tape everything off. And all of the drywall finishing actually ended up looking pretty good with this gray. So this is a satin finish. I didn't want to go too glossy because I knew my drywall was not perfect. I'm really happy with this section because this was like a huge patch where I pulled the electric, and I think it looks really clean. I can't even really notice where that was. So now next up, we'll be mounting the doors. I'm gonna have to trim out all of this closet and then mount the bifolds, and then also mount a door here. I have a pre-hung door that's gonna go there. And then I will be adding the trim everywhere. I'm gonna get more of this material here to match. I think it's like 1x4. It's really 3/4 by 3.5. So I'll get some more of that, and it's pine, and then I'll have to stain that in polyurethane. So I'll have the baseboard all on the drywall here and here. I'll have to trim out around each door. And then on the outside as well, I'll have baseboard all along this wall, trim out around this door. It's gonna butt up pretty much right up against this other trim. And then same thing on this side. I'll have the baseboard. I am also gonna be bringing it onto the understairs section. And my plan here is to do some vertical furring strips, basically the same material, but I think I'm gonna go thinner. So probably 2-inch wide strips and then space them out every so often. And I'm thinking I'm gonna paint those gray to match the wall. The other option would be to stain. So let me know what you think about that. Overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm actually kind of amazed that the drywall looks this good. Sure, it is not perfect, but I was not expecting it to be perfect. For my first time ever, I'm extremely pleased with this. So then, like I said, next time we're gonna be hanging doors and doing all of the trim to finish this project up.